Hello everybody. Hey, got a little something different today. This just occurred to me. This might be fun for using for RC, RV use, stuff like that. Close range communication if you have a big house, lots of kids, whatever. This is a SAMCOM walkie-talkie. And I picked up 3 of these things and the charging base for them. It's a pretty nice little radio, and I'll go over some of the specs. Now, the first thing I want to do, I want to throw up here, this thing does have FCC ID now, and it's legal for a lot of stuff. What all it's legal for, I'll let you, but depending on your country, you have to figure this out. And it does have a beep sound in it when you're punching the buttons, and I'll show you what that sounds like, and then I'll turn it off so it's not beeping every time I touch something to show you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with that part. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now this comes pre-programmed. It's got 20 channels in it. They're labeled 0 through 19. It's got some nice features on it. You've got high and low power. You can change from the radio. There is a programming software that's available. The programming software is only at this time for Windows machine, doesn't work on a Mac. But I don't know if they're working on that or not. But at this time, all it works on is a PC. But you can go in and change the frequencies. This thing covers from 400 to 470 megahertz. There's a lot of frequency coverage that this thing covers, but it's all on UHF. It comes with an SMA antenna that is removable. They make a little short rubber duck if you want to make a little smaller, more compact radio and you don't need the maximum range. You can change this to a little rubber duck. They do make a higher gain antennas. I'll show you what one of the higher gain antennas looks like. Now, this one happens to be a dual band antenna. It's for VHF and UHF, but it will work on UHF. Now, depending on the country you're in, this may or may not be legal. I'm going to leave all the legal stuff up to you. This thing does have FCC type acceptance on quite a few services, and I'll throw a screenshot of that up here and let you see what all services it's legal for. Again, that's up to you to check to see if it works in your service. This thing does cover FRS, it covers GMRS, it covers the 70 centimeter ham band. So all of these things I'm going to leave up to you to see if it's legal in your country to use. I'm going to show you the beep sound that it makes. It's not totally obnoxious, but if you don't want to listen to that, you just hit the menu, and you can use these up-down buttons to scroll through the different services. There's your beep. You hit OK, and this is a group function and OK, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we're going to change that to off, hit OK, and now you no longer have to listen to the beep through my microphone. So it's got speech compression. It's got a voice scrambler. What the voice scrambler does, I listened to it on another radio that didn't have all of this, and it sounds like modulation inversion to me. So it's just turning the modulation inside out, but you can't understand it. That's the thing. And both of you, if you're talking to 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 other people, everybody has to have the scrambler turned on, or you can't understand each other. You can hear each other, but you can't understand each other. This thing has a digital coded squelch system. It's got 2 different systems in it. So what this does, this shows you your transmit and receive frequency, and it shows you your transmit and receive tone. It's a digital squelch, basically, is what this is. And if the receiving station doesn't have that, then they can't hear you. You won't break their squelch. It needs that. That's basically the key to get to the squelch. Kind of a short or maybe a funny way of saying it, but that's technically what it's doing. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think if they put those tones on there, nobody else can hear them. If you turn your tones completely off, you hear everybody. But if you turn your tones on, you only hear people using the same tone. Now, This brings me to the monitor button. You've got a monitor button on the side right here, which will break the squelch no matter what, and no matter what tone it's on. So you hold that in, turn that down a bit, and you can hear. Now, the reason I bring this up, if you start to transmit, if you happen to be using the same frequency as somebody else, as a factor of courtesy, if you hadn't been talking on the radio and you just pick it up, you want to hit that monitor button, and it lets you see if somebody else is already using that frequency. Just a courtesy thing. The other thing that the monitor button is good for, so if you're in a fringe area and you're trying to hear somebody that's just barely breaking your squelch, if you hold the monitor button in for a couple of seconds, turn that down again, then you don't have to hold it down anymore, and it defeats the squelch until you hit the monitor button again. And it's a nice feature, because if somebody's right at the edge of your range, then they're choppy, you can't hear them. You're going to be listening to them through noise, but at least you can hear them, and without having to go through the menu system to turn the squelch off. You've got a rotary knob right up here on the top, and this is what changes your channels. Now we get back over to the group function for just a second. When you hit the group function, it's going to take you, in this case I've got it programmed for channel 0. So it's going to go to channel 0, so whatever frequency you've got on there, if you want to talk to somebody, like say you've got, I don't know, each one of your kids has their own channel, and then you have a family channel in your house. Let's say you've got a really big house. Then you can use the group function, or a warehouse situation, or a group of people that you got a little group of people here, a little group of people over here, but you all at some point may need to communicate. You can program one of the 20 channels as a group channel on all of the radios, and then when you talk on that particular channel, everybody's radio that's set for that will hear on that one particular channel. So you can make a group call no matter what primary channel each group is actually on, which works great in a warehouse situation, or you got a bunch of guys doing RC cars together, and these guys from this town, these guys from this town, you're doing something up in the woods. You don't necessarily need to hear all the chatter, but occasionally you need to know what the person that's coordinating the event is going to try to tell you. So that's what the group channel is for. You've got low and high power, which is adjustable. So right now it's on high power. You got a little H up there. If you push, it doesn't matter which one, the arrow keys, it's switched over to low power, and it's on every channel, not just on this one channel, but you can switch it over from the face of the radio. You don't have to do that through the programming software. So all things considered, it's a very versatile radio. It's limited to 20 channels. It does have a scan function. The scan function, you just that's the second button down here. You hit that. Now it is a very slow scan, but it does scan, so it does give you that benefit. So if you're just in a general area and you want to hear all the chatter from the different groups, you can turn on the scan function, and it will slowly go through all of those channels. You've got the push to talk button up here to transmit with. The battery on this is removable, and I'll show you the each one of these radios comes with a charger, comes with a little speaker mic to put in your ear. I'll show you those in just a second. To take the battery off, you squeeze these two little buttons right here, pull down on the battery, and it makes it a little easier if you push up on the belt clip, which does not it does come off if you want it off. You can take these two screws out, but as far as just falling off, it stays on there all the time. The FCC ID number is in here. I will put it in the comments to make it easier for you, and I'll put a link to the programming software in the description for you. So here's your battery. It's 1500 milliamp. It's a 7.4 volt. Nice little setup. So let me show you what all comes with this. Okay, here's the stuff that comes with this. So you've got a single standalone charger. You have this little earbud headset, and it's pretty nice. It's actually adjustable to fit, not everybody has the same ear size, so it's adjustable for that. Fits right in the radios. Got a little push to talk button. It's got a little clip on it so you can and that slides up and down the cable so you can move it to where it's most convenient for you. And it's got a little foam piece that goes on the earbud, and that's what comes in the package. Now, this is the programming cable. It does not come with this. I ordered this as a separate piece. Here's the number. If you want to look that up, I picked it up off of Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description. I just thought this would be handy. I have 3 of these radios. So what you've got here is one heavy-duty transformer, one power cable that plugs into the wall. Instead of having a wall wart in the wall, this cable plugs into this power adapter. This plugs into the charger. You can charge up to 6 radios at one time, which to me is much more convenient than having 3 of these things or 6 of these plugged in. Now, if you've got these distributed all over the house, these are fine, and these work fine regardless of how many radios you have. But for me, just a quick and easy, have them ready to go, have this thing plugged in with all of the radios sticking in there. Wanted to throw this in real quick. You can charge the 3 units at one time, and one little additional handy feature, I'll show you real quick. If you choose to buy extra batteries, you can charge just the batteries. So if you only need 3 radios and you want an extra battery for each one, you can charge 3 batteries and 3 radios simultaneously. The reason I don't do conventional unboxings, this is the plastic that this stuff is wrapped in, and it's very noisy. I don't like that. So now, one other thing, if you have an older version of these radios, this is the procedure to make all of your old radios and your new radios compatible. So you can freeze the screen. This comes in the box with the radios, so it shouldn't be a problem. But if you do have older radios, they came with a different pre-programmed set of frequencies. So this is how you make all of your radios compatible. So who is this thing for? First thing I want to show you is a screenshot of the programming software. I haven't programmed this yet. I will probably add a couple of 70 centimeter repeaters to this for use. From where I am, I can hit Denver and northern Colorado pretty easy on a repeater. So it's kind of nice if you have a license for that. GMRS, same thing. If you've got GMRS repeaters, to address who this is for, practically anybody that's in some sort of a group situation, especially if you have multiple groups. Off-roaders come to mind, radio-controlled cars, trucks, boats, people out on the lake fishing. This ought to have really good range on the lake. Campers, anybody that's in an area where you're not going to have service from your cell phone system, this is going to be a pretty handy little radio. 2 watts, you can stretch the battery life out. 5 watts gives you maximum range, and I've already covered the different antennas with higher or less gain for portability or greater range where it's legal. So not going to go over all that stuff. This does come with a user manual, and it comes with a little sheet that tells you how to program it so that your older radios, if you have some older versions of this, will be compatible with the new version. So man, I can't think of any kind of a group situation where these things wouldn't come in handy. That's just me personally, but I'm a kind of a radio type of person, so take that for what it's worth. Anyway, anything I didn't cover, I'm pretty good about getting back to my comments. It may take me a little while. I work 100+ hours. I'm gone from this place right here for over 100 hours a week, but I'm pretty good when I do get a few spare minutes through the day about answering my comments. So if you got a question, put it in the comments down there. I'll get back to you ASAP. And for anybody that's still here, I really appreciate it, and catch you guys down the road.